back on MorningLine. This is the big man, Josh Horn, district manager.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty cool. He runs the show here in the local, I guess, Social Security realm, and the office is over there at Metro Center.
Right, Metro Center, yeah. And then Murfreesboro, yep.
And Murfreesboro. How many employees here would you say, you estimate?
We've lost a few. We've lost a few more here lately.
And you're in a hiring freeze, are you not?
And that's right. We're in the hiring freeze, and so we are kind of feeling a little bit of that. But basically, we have about 33 technicians in Nashville right now that are ready and to help and serve, and then we have about 19 in Murfreesboro.
You continue the proud tradition of Social Security representatives coming on this show. Daryl Payne. Daryl Payne, come on. James Shanks.
Yep.
Robin Fountain.
Yeah, she came in for a while.
For a while.
Yep.
For a while. So anyway, let's get back to the phone calls. And next up is Amy. Amy, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Amy.
Hello. I have a question. I have a 3-year-old son. His dad just passed away. And his dad and I were not married when he passed away. And he didn't sign up the voluntary acknowledgement of paternity whenever our little boy was born. And they say that I need to get DNA. How would I go about that? Would it be from a grandparent or?
Who's saying that you need the DNA?
The Social Security office.
To prove, because you want to draw on your the father's Social Security?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so you need to prove that this child is...
Basically, the paternity test is something that would basically help. Because in those type situations, like the one you're describing, it's a little bit challenging to get the necessary proofs in to get the claim processed. And so the paternity test is one of the main things that we can get. To be honest, I'm not sure offhand how...
So he's dead, and so he's gone. Yeah. And so I wonder, her point might be, and I guess we're not doctors here, but maybe getting a DNA sample from his father or mother or sibling, and I don't know if there would be enough of a match there to prove that the child is his. Is that what you've been told, or were you just guessing on that, Amy?
Well, see, that's what they told me when I went to the Social Security office to sign up for his benefits. They told me a grandparent, but I didn't know how to go about doing that.
Oh, okay. So, well, if it's a grandparent, then do you have any relationship with the grandparents?
Oh, yes.
Oh, well, I guess, what could it be? I mean, do you know, how do you have to obtain this? Would you say, let's go to the doctor? I think the basic DNA test can be done from skin cells or a hair follicle. And you can do a DNA test. You can ask your doctor how that might be done.
Office, yeah.
Yeah, or they do a swab of the grandfather's or grandmother's mouth, and they can do the test pretty much find out immediately a lot of times, and then you'll have the document from the doctor confirming it, and I think that's the way you would do it.
Yep.
Right? Does that
sound? I mean, I would probably Google it to make sure, but that's kind of what I was thinking, that you just go to your doctor and get that taken care of.
Yeah, as long as the grandparents say it's no big deal, just come and they do a swab, and it should work. I mean, I think that's the plan.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, you bet. That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Interesting on that. But so yeah, it makes sense that you're going to want to have her prove the paternity, and once that's confirmed, then she could probably draw on the deceased's Social Security. Good for her, and that's just a hoop you have to jump through. Let's go to Sue. Sue, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Sue.
Hi.
What's on your mind?
Okay, I have 2 questions, and it's regarding SSI. If you are drawing SSI and that's the only income you have, how often do they call you in for a review to see if you're still eligible to draw SSI? My second question is, do they call everyone in that is solely dependent on SSI for a review?
Oh, okay. Well, have you been called for a review?
I have a son that has been.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I believe as far as the frequency, it kind of depends on a few different factors. I mean, but everybody typically gets called in at some point.
Every couple of years or something?
Yeah, at least. I mean, because we want to review, make sure that we've got, if you've moved, if you've gone back to work, we want to just update the record to make sure that we've got all the information so that you're not being overpaid or underpaid or so on and so forth. So, kind of depend. Different folks. Some people come in more often, depending on the characteristics of their situation. You know, some folks, if it's a more simple situation that doesn't change, that may be more or less frequent rather. And we have all different kinds of criteria that kind of makes those choice. And at the end of the day, we kind of get a list of, based on those criteria, of which ones we need to call in and get that taken care of.
Sue, has that happened a lot for your son?
No, this is the first time it has happened, and they had sent him for x-rays at a doctor, I'm assuming a Social Security doctor, and when he got there, we were assuming it was going to be on his back from where, you know, he had broken vertebrae in his back, in his neck, but they had ordered x-ray of his ankles.
What? Why?
Was that part of his disability at all?
No.
Okay.
That's
well,
weird.
and I apologize, because I was kind of thinking with the SSI program, we have periodic non-medical reviews where we're calling people, bringing them in to go over work history and living arrangement changes and things like that. But what you're talking about is a medical review, and both the SSI program and the Social Security Disability program, we do that, and it's either every 3, 5, or 7 years, again, depending on what type of disability you have or your son has. We do that routinely. And we send that over to the disability office, kind of like what we did when we initially made the disability decision, and they make the decision as to whether they need a consultative examination, but they're basically wanting to determine if there's been any medical improvement since the last time we talked to him. And so I don't know why they were looking at the ankles, but maybe that was part of the original package. Was his ankles, and they wanted to see if there was any medical improvement.
He didn't lose his benefit, did he?
Not yet. We haven't received any notice as to whether he's going to be able to continue to draw or if they are going to cut his check.
Yeah, by the way, when they started x-raying his ankles, did he say, wait a second, I broke my back, not my ankles? Did he tell them that?
Yes, he told them that.
They should have had the file in front of them. Maybe they had the wrong dang file.
Well, when they send it to the doctor's, as you typically asked to do a specific thing or set of things, and it's the disability determination office that you'd want to ask why were they doing this. Now, I will also mention that if for some reason the benefit that it comes back and they say you've improved and we're not going to, we're basically going to cease your benefits, well, you have an appeal rights just like you had the first time around, except with when you appeal a medical review, you have 10 days to send in for payment continuation. Okay, it's a quick turnaround, but you can send in the payment continuation so that throughout your appeal process, your benefits will continue. So keep, if for some reason you get that letter, make sure and see us right away.
Okay, yeah. I guess she'll have to wait and see if she hears back. And I mean, it could be any number of things. There could be some medical reason why, because I'm thinking they're going to look at those x-rays and say his ankles look fine. But I mean, the back and the neck, which qualified him before, there has to be a file on that. Did they have a wrong file? Did they have the wrong patient by accident? I'm sure mix-ups happen, but it could be that there was some medical connection. But yeah, definitely, you know what happened, and if he's still messed up, if they take it away, as he said, take that action and try to clarify what happened. That makes sense. But it's good for people to know that, yeah, there's going to be reviews. All right, let's go to Michelle. Hi, Michelle.
Hello, how are you?
Good. What's on your mind?
I have one question, but it's kind of two-part to it.
Okay.
Back in 2002, I sustained a career-ending injury, and my hand cannot be fixed. I filed for SSI. I did all the documentation. I had the medical records of 2 professionals that treated me and the SSI doctor here in Nashville who was backing me for disability, saying, because my hand can't be fixed, it's going to progressively get worse. And I was denied SSI. And when I tried to appeal it, they said, oh, well, you have a good left hand, which that hand I'm having problems with. And now I paid into the system for over 30 years. I've earned it. And the thing is now I'm having problems and I may need to file, but do I have to be out of work for a certain amount of time?
Okay, so, but you had already filed and been denied, and now you're going to go after it again? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. I filed in 2009.
Okay.
And the 2 specialists backed me 100%, and even the SSI doctor backed and said her hand like it's done, more or less. It's done.
How did you hurt your hand?
I used to be a cake pastry chef.
Oh, you crushed it somehow?
Well, I developed a bone injury, and because they didn't treat it correctly, I am now paying the consequences.
I'm sorry.
Of a company being too cheap.
Oh, that's a shame. All right, so your hand's messed up, but you do have another hand that I guess can function, even though you say you're having problems with that now as well.
Yes.
Sounds like your position has I mean, your condition's worsened.
Yeah.
And so if you reapply, now I have to say this, I can see why losing partial use of one hand, based on what I know about what it takes to qualify for disability, probably is not enough. Now, I don't know her full situation, but it's just, you guys have such a dang high threshold.
Yeah, and again, I mean, I don't know her particular situation to the extent, but they do look at, number one, our disability rules, it's 100% disabled, and it has to be expected to last for a year longer, which I think your situation probably was expected to last for a year longer, but it's that 100% disabled. We've seen a lot of folks come in who are 80% disabled, 90% disabled, but that doesn't qualify. It's got to be 100%. They also take into other factors into consideration, like your education level, your age, your experience level.
What kind of work she was doing.
What kind of work.
Sounds like she can't be a pastry chef anymore.
If you're a pastry chef for all 30 years, then that's one situation. But if you did other things and then the last 5 years you're a pastry chef, that may be a different situation. So there could be a few different factors there. But I will say that if your situation is worse, and in particular if you've developed a condition now in your other hand, then you need to reapply. And the other thing I would mention is file up on your appeals. If you get a decision back that you don't agree with, you have the appeal rights. Make sure you use your appeal rights and follow that through. So
yeah, and remember, when you do appeal, if you end up ultimately winning, they go back to the point you originally applied, and you get a large back check for all the money you should have been drawing. Of course, the question is, what are you supposed to live on when you're not able to really work while you're waiting? And the other thing we'll just throw out there, I like to say this as we go to the break, if you've done it yourself and you're not getting anywhere, there is an option of hiring an attorney. You're like, Nick, I don't have any money to live on, much less hire an attorney. Tell them about that.
Yeah, basically the attorney gets paid out of any of your back pay. So if it takes you a couple years to get approved, but that attorney's working with you, when you get approved, they get paid from the back pay, and there's a cap of $6,000 or 25%. But they don't get paid up front. They don't get paid from any of your ongoing benefits. It's just out of your retroactive pay.
You don't get, they don't get paid unless you get paid. And again, I'm not necessarily recommending that one way or another. I think in my situation, if I was applying and I went through it on my own and kept getting a no, I might say, I'll go with an attorney. Maybe I'm missing something that attorney will see, and getting something's better than nothing. So, all right, so I hope that helps. Let's take a break. When we come back, Debbie, Deborah, and others, we'll get to your calls. We're going till 9 o'clock with Josh Horn right after this.